Okay, so my name is Peter, 3Speed on Instagram. This is a 2010 MazdaSpeed3. Where to start, what I haven't done to it. First, it started off with bolt-on parts, and then I blew all those up. So now, I thought it was a good idea, maybe we should just do an entire build. So I have a full rebuilt Gen 1 motor. Everything's upgraded, big turbo, GTX 3076R. Unfortunate, a little bit of turbo lag, but I had some fun with it. 330 horsepower at 18 pounds. I'm really happy with the car. The car came with a lot of variations of blue plastic dip, looked like a zebra once. Now it's back to green. A lot of help from my family and friends, and yeah, I love this car. It's my daily. I put a lot of work into it. I beat the hell out of this car every single day. I feel like this car shouldn't be parked. I bought it to have fun, so why not have fun with it? I love this car. I mean, everything about it. I always was into hatchbacks, and this is a 4-door hatchback. I like my room. I like to do a lot of things, biking, this and that, whatever, and I wanted a fun daily vehicle, so I love everything about it. It's like a cereal box toy, and I like toys. So it's very easy to mod, and everything's available for this car. It's just like a Honda, nice and easy. What got me into cars? I think I've always been around cars. I always wanted to have a nice car, and I don't know, I've always been around cars and I always loved them. I always wanted my own. It was like the big thing in high school. You're the coolest kid if you're driving. So I started off with a 1998 Dodge Dakota pickup truck, full size. My dad gave me that on my birthday. I was pretty happy about that. It was the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen, and I loved it. Next car that got me really into it, I got a Honda. Then I got into the whole, let's paint the interior and all that fun jazz. It was just a mess. Then, of course, Volkswagen. Good old Volkswagen and the electrical issues and all that. That was my biggest thing. I put a nice VR6 swap in there. I started really getting into it. I'm like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I went to a couple shows with my friends, and I got hooked. I definitely got hooked. I finally had a full-time job. I bought myself a regular 3. I started playing around with that. Then the Speed came out. I'm like, oh, now I want more power. So I got this thing. I started wrenching into this. Bolt-on parts here and there, making it look pretty. Started going to my shows after, I think, my first trophy. And I really got obsessed over it. And I haven't stopped ever since. I just keep going and going and make the car look down to my personality. I just really enjoy doing this stuff. This is nothing else I'd rather be doing. It's like I'd always tell my grandmother, why do you keep doing this? Why do you rather have me do drugs or spend money on cars? And that's how it just keeps going. I have a partner that also, we do the exact same thing, and it's just amazing. And this is why I love this. I love expressing my personality into this stuff. It's just that's how it is. And I don't know. Get it? I was always into cars. It was back from my dad screwing around with vehicles, half-ass jobs with duct tape, down to this thing, and probably never going to stop. I say I always stop, but I never will. And that's obviously, that's probably what it is all about it. I just love it. I love the expression it gives me. I love the fun, and that's it.
How's it going, boys and girls? It's Heaven came in back again for another review, and today I'm in a 2010 MazdaSpeed3, and this one obviously is not stock because I don't usually do stock cars. You guys know this by now, but this one is fully built, pushing about 370 horsepower, and thing's a beast. For those of you that don't know, a MazdaSpeed3 is pretty much a Mazda 3 that's a lot faster. I'd say they're somewhat rare because I don't usually see Mazda 3s on the road, to be honest. Like, there's a lot of Mazda 3s that you do see on the road, but the MazdaSpeed3 is on like a different tier. I'm in one of it right now. And this one especially, it's super different. First of all, it's green. I don't know the last time I've seen a green car. It kind of reminds me of the Hulk because it has a nice white stance, some nice black wheels to finish off, and it looks nice, guys. So this car actually belongs to Peter, and Peter's put in a lot of work into this thing. It's actually Mercedes daily driver, and he's kind of crazy for making this a daily driver because this thing is not daily drivable. Well, it is daily drivable, like don't get me wrong. It's not a hard car to drive, even the clutch feel and everything is super easy. However, the thing's not too reliable. Like Mazdas are already known to not be too reliable. I know like all the Mazda guys I know, they're always dealing with like weird issues. Boost. This thing definitely loves the rev. I'm gonna hit a nice corner right here. Yeah, I'm not trying to corner it too hard because one, it's on evergreen Chinese tires. They're holding up pretty well so far, but they're sketchy, man. Like Chinese tires in general, they're pretty sketchy. Although they do quite fairly well in holding it together in one piece, they're still pretty sketchy. I just don't trust Chinese tires because all I need is to understeer on these tight corners and the car is in the ditch, and I'm not trying to do that, right? Because I'm pretty sure Peter wouldn't be too happy about that. But yes, this car has been giving him a lot of small issues. It's been not too bad for the long run. However, it's just minor things that go wrong with like a typical build, you know? And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but this car makes so many nice noises. When you're building up boost, you just hear straight turbo noises and whistles, and like it's just such a happy feeling, and it really matches the front of the car. If you actually look at the front of the car, the way the grille is set up, it's very similar to the Mazda Miata of this generation, where it kind of has like a happy face in the front. It's kind of like a mouth that's smiling at you, and like these turbo noises, it really assists that, and I really like that. Another thing I really like about this car is the short shifter. Like at first it was kind of weird, like I didn't know if I was in gear or not because the shifter was that short. But as I drive it, it's really direct. It's a really nice rigidy feel. Third gear was kind of like the weird, like the odd gear, but as I'm driving it, it's really rewarding, and like it's kind of like a nice throwy feel. I don't like how the shift knob is not locked in. I don't know if the thread is gone or whatever, but it's kind of annoying. But like the feel of the shifter really makes up for that. Also, these seats, man, they're like it's like a combination of cloth and leather. I don't know if it's leather or pleather, but they hold you in pretty nicely. They are the stock seats. They're comfortable because the fabric is actually in the middle where you're sitting, and then the pleather or leather is on the sides, and the bolster comes out just right to the point where it's not overly aggressive. It isn't uncomfortable or anything like a full up race seat. It's a good cross of daily drivability, comfort, and racy. So these are good seats. I like them, and plus they're all they're electrically assisted, so I can adjust them electrically, which is always a nice touch. But I know they do add weight, but I don't really care. So what Mazda has done with this car, I'd say it's to compete with Subaru. They do have a really close relationship in terms of the whole COB systems. I know a lot of the Subaru guys love to have the COB systems in them. I know now the Ford guys have them in their cars too. Like you'll see a lot of the Ford Focuses, they have the COB system in there as well. But Mazda's been in it for a while as well. The Speed 3 guys, they almost always have the COB systems in there. It's very similar to what Subaru has done. They've created a 4-door hatchback or a 4-door sedan that is pretty much a daily. Like this is a family car. You guys can have full passengers in the back. You guys can have like child seats, whatever. In Peter's case, he has his dogs in here, and this is a great all-around daily. Like, you know, he's had a canoe strapped onto this. He's had like a whole bunch of cargo things strapped onto this, and it works because that's what the car was kind of intended for. But on top of that, what they have done is they've incorporated a very strong, fast powertrain, and this thing holds up. Like this thing definitely holds up. really want to know how this car would feel with nicer tires, you know, like maybe like Michelin Pilot Super Sports. So Peter's wife actually drives a Slam GLI on Pilot Super Sports, and I can only imagine how nice that thing is, because Peter keeps talking about it, and I'm hyped. We might have that in a future review, so look out for that. Oh man, once again the shifter feels really direct. The suspension, it's on coils. The suspension's on coils, so the ride is a little stiff. However, there isn't much body roll at all. Just a little bit of movement. But once again, like, the car is very dailyable. Like, it isn't stiff to the point where you can't daily drive this thing. You got power windows, you got AC, you got a lot of space and storage. It kind of falls under that whole category of the whole like wagon monsters. Like Subaru's done it, BMW's done it with their 3 Series and 5 Series wagons. The exhaust setup is actually really nice as well. The car is actually friggin' loud. Like, all the windows are closed right now because I want to have good sound for you guys, but all the windows are closed right now, and through the windows, this thing is making a lot of noise inside the cabin, so I can only imagine how loud it is outside. The steering feel is actually not that bad, to be honest. It isn't the best feeling out there. It still feels electronically assisted. However, there isn't any lag, and the car turns where I want it to go. I just wish the steering wheel provided a little bit more feedback. 2010, man, 7 years ago, Mazda had all these things, and Mazda's actually been known to be, for the price range, they've been pretty ahead of their time in a sort. So now let me finish. One of my buddies actually had a Mazda 3 before, same year as this, and for the time, the thing that it had, like the electronic seats and the automatic headlights and all that, for the price range, other companies weren't really offering that. Like Honda and Toyota, they didn't really have all of that stuff, right? Whereas Mazda, they did, right? So that's where Mazda kind of stuck out. Alright, so now we're at the straightaway, and we're gonna do a pull. Comes alive around 3,500 RPM, and once it hits boost, this thing's a freight train. Like, this thing just pulls straight, and okay, now let me go back a bit. It doesn't pull straight. It pulls you all over the place because of the torque steer, and a big reason for that is the evergreen Chinese tires that I keep bringing up that I'm not too happy with. However, this thing, going back to the speed, this thing, it pulls you. Like, it pulls you back into your seat, and you definitely get that whole quick, fast vibe in this, and that's nice. Like, I really like that. And I know Peter beats the shit out of this car. Like, Peter has no mercy for this car, right? So he daily drives it, and he brings it to the track, and this car can do all of that, and that's what I love about this car. See, guys, as you get older, you kind of steer away from the whole race car vibe, you know? Like, race cars, you can't daily drive a race car. Like, you have to be a young dude to be able to daily drive a race car, because it requires a lot of patience. And as you get older, you want to start to cross the daily drivability and the race car field, and that's what a lot of older guys are doing, right? So that's where the whole wagon scene comes in, because it's still practical. Like, you can still store away all your things, you can still go far in them, but you can still have a good cross of race car ability, you know what I mean? Like, you can still have that whole race car feel in your car. You know what? Like, you're getting older, it's time to grow up. You need space now, you know? You're gonna have kids, you're gonna have dogs, you're gonna have things to do now, you know? Because now you're an adult, you're responsible. However, you're still a car junkie, you know? Like, you still want to have that whole race car feel, and that's where cars like this, the MazdaSpeed3, the Subaru Impreza, you know, like, that's where cars like this, even the BMW 3 Series, BMW 5 Series wagons, that's where cars like that come to exist, right? And that's why they're so popular. If you actually go to Europe, you'll see a lot of guys, especially dads, they're gonna have the BMW 3 Series wagon. A lot of people who are growing up, you're gonna see them in cars like this that are still built to go fast, but they still can handle daily activities, and that's the great thing about these cars. Also guys, going back to the car, the clutch feel, it's kind of sketchy. I feel like it is slipping. I know this car can put down a lot more power if the clutch was working the way it should be, and I know Peter's had it adjusted so like it actually releases a lot higher than it was intended to. Also, in the middle of the gauge, you have a nice little boost gauge. I don't know how accurate it is, but it does come factory stock with Mazda, right? So you can actually get this nice little boost gauge, and it shows you the PSI that's being built up on this, and that's really nice. Besides that, typical Mazda speedometer. I like how they put MazdaSpeed in the tachometer, because that kind of reminds you that you're not in the regular Mazda, you're in the MazdaSpeed3. And once again, guys, the MazdaSpeed3 is like the top package of the Mazda 3. Like that's like the package that every car guy wants because of the boost that comes with it. Every gear, man, every gear you're gonna hear that little the little turbo spool. Also, the brake feel. Brake feel is really nice. Doesn't feel too harsh, not too hard. It's still on the stock brakes, and they're doing fine. You know, we're not on the track right now, so there isn't much brake fade, but they're doing fine. Like, they're stopping the car. I feel like it's enough brake for the performance of this car, so no complaints with the brakes. However, if he was going to make this thing faster, and I know Peter is going to make this thing go faster, he's going to want to upgrade these brakes. He's even done like the green plaid on the interior. It really suits this car's personality. And I also love that huge intercooler that he's had put in the front. It just makes this whole thing look so much more awesome. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I want to thank Peter for coming out all the way from Mississauga. Make sure you like and share this video, because that really does help. And also make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I drop a car review every single week. And while you're at it, make sure you click that bell notification button, because that will tell you exactly when I drop those videos, and you'll get a notification. You can watch it first, so you'll be one of the cool kids. And also guys, let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys think about the Mazda 3? Would you guys buy one, or would you guys pass on it? Would you guys rather get a Super? Let me know down below, and we'll have a conversation down there. And once again guys, thank you so much for watching. Be good kids. 11-11. Take it easy. Peace.